Since its inception in 2014, I've had a love-hate relationship with True Detective. Series 1 was epic, Series 2 was kind of okay in a nut-crushingly painful kind of way, and the least said about Series 3 the better. But surely Series 4 was going to buck this trend, and who better to resurrect this ailing series than Jodie Foster? The actress who absolutely nailed the role of Clarice Starling was making a much-hyped return to the genre which delivered her most iconic role. So everyone jumped on the hype train and bought a ticket. Surely nothing could go wrong. Well, judging by episode 1 it has. And badly. In fact, it's gone so spectacularly wrong, it took me 2 agonising watches just to get me through 1 hour and 8 tedious minutes. The tone of what was to come was set in the opening scene, when some truly terrible CGI Caribou tossed themselves off the nearest cliff. I'm not sure what the point of this scene was, but I can't help but wonder if there's some sort of symbolism here. Is this what the future holds for the True Detective franchise after this shower of a series? Or maybe I'm just giving the writers too much credit. Maybe there's no symbolism here at all. Maybe these poor unfortunate animals just read the script. After this somewhat shaky start, the episode briefly, and I do mean briefly, threatened to get interesting. 8 scientists are working at a remote research facility deep in the Alaskan wilderness. They're digging into the ice hoping to discover the origins of life. The setting is not dissimilar to that of John Carpenter's The Thing, which is no bad thing, because that movie is awesome and acts as a shining example of how to create fear and paranoia in an isolated environment. In the blink of an eye, all 8 scientists vanish without a trace, and in their place, a severed tongue is found. Things were actually starting to look promising, then it all went wrong. Call me old-fashioned, but in a series called True Detective, you would expect some sort of detection to take place. But not here. The police officers in this series seem content to swan around, spouting cliched dialogue, while ghosts do all the hard work. Yes, that's right, it's the ghost who directs the police to all the dead people in this series. Not only that, but he does it through the medium of interpretive dance, busting the kind of shapes that even Kate Bush would be proud of. Ghosts, one-eyed spirit bears, clinically depressed caribou. Was this story even written for True Detective, or was it originally pitched as an episode of The X-Files which never made it from the writer's room because it was too crap? Well, if all the actors are reading from a failed X-Files script, then Callie Rice seems to be reading from RoboCop. Her performance as Evangeline Navarro is more wooden than Pinocchio, and it isn't a great surprise to learn that she's a boxer by trade and not an actress. To be fair, the script doesn't do her any favours. Navarro is a walking cliché, the stereotypical man-hating loose-cannon cop who would get the job done if only everyone would just get out of her way. She takes down wife-beaters and disables their vehicles with Bailey's liqueur. She screws her fuck buddy into oblivion, making him squeal like a pig before stealing his SpongeBob toothbrush. I mean, who really writes this drivel? Yes, that's right. As with most modern TV and cinema, all the male characters in this show are weak, useless, or just downright scumbags. Providing the yin to Navarro's yang is Danvers, played by Jodie Foster. She's on the other end of the cliché spectrum. She's the older, more sensible, by-the-book cop. She's blunt, pushy, and also cynical, constantly ridiculing Navarro about her beliefs, firing occasional barbs about spirit animals. Here I feel the writers are trying to recreate some of the chemistry we got between McConaughey and Harrelson in Series 1, where we were continually treated to witty back-and-forth banter as they debated morality, death, and faith. Unfortunately, the dialogue between Danvers and Navarro is abysmal. The writers of Series 4 clearly don't trust us to understand what's going on, or to formulate any opinions for ourselves. The whole story and backstory is literally spoon-fed to us through clunky dialogue. To be honest, the best thing about episode 1 was the last 10 seconds when something actually happened. That will probably keep me watching for at least until episode 2. I'm also interested to see if they can somehow pump some oxygen into this lifeless turd. But based on what I've seen so far, I'm not holding out much hope.
What is that? Is that a man in there?